This is my source evaluation on the future of cultivated meat. So my first reliable source is called The Myth of Cultured Meat. Authors are Shagid and Jean. This is reliable because it was published in Frontiers in Nutrition, or similar academic journals in related fields like Animal Frontiers, which is an international peer-reviewed scientific journal. Being peer-reviewed means the paper was evaluated by other experts, scientists, academics, in the field of nutrition, food science, or animal science. So first, I'm going to be talking about technical and cost barriers. This process still often relies on FBS, which is fetal bovine serum, which is developed from the blood of slaughtered calves. This ingredient is extremely expensive, making production costs high, and it disproves the ethical claim that cultivated meat is completely slaughter-free. Next are some health and nutrition unknowns. Nutritional control is unclear. The nutritional combustion of cultivated meat, especially concerning essential micronutrients like iron, is still uncontrolled and unclear. Some potential health risk: there is no contamination with pathogens like E. coli and Salmonella, and in these meats it has been known to increase the risk of cancer, particularly colon cancer. Some environmental and economic problems. While cultivated meat dramatically reduces the need for agricultural land and water, the process requires an enormous amount of energy. The article argues that the environmental benefit, GHG reduction, is completely dependent on the energy source. If the energy relies on fossil fuels, its footprint could be worse than standard farming in the long run. So my second source is also reliable. It is a video I watched called Future Climate Solution, or a Key Science Experiment. And why is because it features a discussion with a qualified subject matter expert, Dr. David Block. He is a professor or chemical engineer whose academic background lends authority to the technical details. So first, high production costs. The process of cultivating meat is still very expensive, largely due to the cost of the nutrition-rich cell culture medium. As a result, companies have struggled with financial viability, with some products selling for less than the cost of production. High energy use. While lab-grown meat uses less land and water, it can have a high energy requirement. Critics point out that you are replacing a biological system, the body of a cow, with industrial electricity, meaning the final environment benefit hinges heavily on the use of renewable energy to power the bioreactors. Public precipitation and acceptance. The idea of meat grown in a lab raises a yuck or icky factor, which is a major hurdle in getting widespread consumers to buy this. Roadblocks. Introducing any novel food product faces significant constraints, which has slowed down the industry's ability to get the product to market, as seen by the slow launch in places like Singapore. So my third source is unreliable. The reason that a specific piece from Wrong Direction Farm is flagged as unreliable isn't that they're totally off base about everything. They bring up genuinely tough questions about lab-grown meat, things like how incredibly expensive it is to scale up and whether the energy demands are worth it. Those are real hurdles the industry faces. The issue, though, is the spin they put on it. Instead of a balanced critique, they frame the whole effort as a scam or a delusion, being pushed by that. You could tell their main goal isn't just is to objectify any source of information that they don't like, and it's what they do. Because of that built-in bias, they tend to completely skip over it or simply dismiss any positive scientific or environmental claims the new technology might offer. Essentially, they're starting with the answer, lab meat is bad, our meat is good, and working backwards. which isn't the method for an object review. The core argument is that right now making lab meat just costs too much money. It goes against the simple rule of money and science that say how much food can be made for how little cash. The claim is that cultivated meat can't ever be cheap enough unless scientists can somehow get cells to grow much faster than they naturally can. Basically, it's seen as financially impossible to keep up. Think of this as hitting a giant wall. The main issue, like the high cost, isn't just one big thing. It's actually made up of hundred or little tricky problems, and they all need to be solved. If you fix one small problem, two more pop up. It's a super complicated mess of tiny, unsolved challenges that block the whole project. So, in conclusion, I think that lab grown meat should not be further continued, leading to health problems and overall not very good for the environment. Thank you for listening.